great to be here today for Families Matter, St. Lucie Public Schools Parenting Guide. We are excited to be your hosts. My name is Rebecca Benton. I am a life skills parent educator with Student Services.
Hi again. I'm Dejan Jackson, Family and Community Outreach Administrator on special assignment for St. Lucie Public Schools. The focus of our show today is on mental health and how you can support your child with their mental health needs.
The purpose of Families Matter, St. Lucie Public Schools Parenting Guide, is to give parents and families information about the resources found within our local community. The resources shared could be in the form of people connected to St. Lucie Public Schools, like school counselors, district support personnel, or educators on your child's campus. Or the resources could be found on our St. Lucie Public Schools website. Or it could be in the form of local community agencies that help your child achieve success. You play a pivotal role in the life of your child and children, and as always, our aim is to support you. Today, our purpose is to give you tools and resources to support your child's mental health.
When thinking about mental health and physical health, it is important to recognize that everyone needs tools to maintain a healthy lifestyle. May is designated as Mental Health Awareness Month. On today's show, we are bringing in experts to increase awareness of the importance of mental health and wellness in our children's lives and our lives as parents and caregivers.
One of our guests is Dr. Lillian Neidel. Thank you so much for being with us today. Can you share it with us a little bit about yourself and how you serve St. Lucie Public Schools?
Sure. Like you said, my name is Dr. Lillian Neidel. I'm Program Specialist for Guidance and Counseling for Pre-K through 5 with the Department of Student Services. So for the most part, my main role is supporting school counselors in all areas related to academics, behavior, mental health, career development, and more, just to ensure that we're providing students with everything necessary to promote their success.
We also have with us today Dr. Michelle Gillard. We are so thankful for you for taking out the time to share with our families and the community all the resources. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Gillard?
Of course. So I'm the coordinator of mental health and psychological services here in the district, and basically that means that I oversee our mental health programs as well as our school psychologists. And I also work to connect families with community agencies, mental health agencies, or other kinds of community mental health resources.
Wonderful. So let's get started with the basics. What is mental health and why is it important?
Mental health is our ability to, address our emotional, our psychological needs. It's how we relate with others. It's whether we can, be productive at work and at school and cope with stress.
Wonderful.
Sometimes I think the easiest way for people to understand the importance of mental health is to explain that if you believe in the importance of physical health, then you can realize that mental health is just as, if not more important.
Absolutely.
It's integral to our health overall and our overall well-being. So, it's necessary for us to be able to make decisions, build and maintain healthy relationships, and be productive members of society. It's just overall extremely crucial to our development in so many ways.
So our mental health revolves around our daily responses to stress. What is stress?
So first of all, stress is a normal reaction. It happens to everybody, and it's really how our bodies respond when we're facing challenging situations. It's going to look different for each person and each situation, but it happens to everybody.
What are some healthy ways to deal with stress that we want our children to use daily?
Very commonly, we'll use breathing exercises, especially because they help students to self-regulate. Other things are limiting the amount of time they spend on social media is a really big one. I don't think people realize that we have an enormous amount of stress that gets even worse with social media. It has its positives, but it also has its negatives. And then making sure that students feel comfortable communicating their feelings with at least one trusted adult.
That's wonderful.
I agree with Dr. Neidel. The most important thing in terms of developing coping skills is that it's something that is meaningful and healthy for the individual, but being able to talk about those feelings is also super important. So any way they can get that information out with someone they trust.
Thank you. So these relaxation practices are helpful all the time. Can you share one with us today?
Sure. So one that I used to do as a school counselor with students was to kind of tell them to breathe through their body. So I would tell them to kind of put their toes to their feet. Nope. I would tell them to put their hands to their toes and to breathe in. And as they're breathing in, they don't realize that it's lifting their body up, so they're going. So it kind of takes the breath from the toes all the way to the top of the head throughout the body. And they really seem to enjoy that.
Oh, I love that. One I like to use at home. Now remember, I have little guys at home, so I take their like teeny tiny little squishy hand and we breathe in and out as we move their other finger, the other hand on the other finger, the finger on the other hand, up and down as we breathe in and out. And the goal is that when I'm not with them, they can take their hand and practice this, that breathing strategy, by themselves. So.
You guys have really mentioned a lot of great tips for our families to use. It's important to have a designated calm down area in your home. It's a great way to practice some of these skills. And when children practice these skills that we're discussing today, they are able to put some of the things that they see in the school in place at home. The area does not have to be fancy or anything such as that, just a small area set aside where children can regroup and be able to take the time they need to calm down.
In this area, you could have a soft pillow, a stress ball to squeeze, and for those who want to draw or jot down their thoughts, maybe a journal or some crayons. For younger children, it might be helpful to have a poster or pictures of different emotions to help them identify how they are feeling. Many schools have calm down areas for students to use. This home to school connection is very critical for students to realize the importance of their feelings and how important their mental health is.
And for older children, allow them to select pictures that make them feel calm and connected, such as pictures of the beach or a mountain, or maybe even a family photo. I'm a sensory girl through and through, and so I have scents of lavender and gardenia with soft music surrounding me, which helps me always feel calm. What would you have in your area, Rebecca?
Oh, I would definitely want someplace cozy to sit and my favorite music. My youngest son loves to go into his room and sit in his rocking chair and read books together.
That's awesome.
I would definitely have blankets and a pillow and probably some books too. But sometimes I just need to get the energy out if I'm, really stressed out. And so someplace where I can move, just even like some jumping jacks or running in place, I would want that too.
For me, definitely, I'm also a sensory girl, a wax warmer. I'm big on scents. Scents can really affect my mood. Also, really soft blankets, again, back to sensory. And then, as corny as it sounds, lots of word searches. They really help me calm down.
Those are all great. We want parents to know that all these strategies we discussed for our children can be utilized yourself. You are the guide and model that your children turn to for comfort.
I like to keep things in perspective, families. I ask myself, is this a problem temporary, or how big is the problem? Those questions keep me grounded and allow me to get help from the right source.
It's important to note to try not to diminish the problem your child is working through, but validate their feelings and give them the necessary tools to be successful as they manage life's problems. Another great question to keep in mind as you support your child is the size of the problem equal to the size of my response?
Problems may seem overwhelming and solutions may seem far, far away, but it is always good to keep in mind the power of yet. Things might not have happened yet. We just haven't reached the solution yet. We know for some, getting to the solution can be difficult and can cause some anxiety. How does stress differ from anxiety?
That's a great question. They're often spoken as if they're interchangeable, but they're actually very different. A lot of times that interchangeableness people think really comes between the two is because they do share a lot of commonalities, like physical symptoms. You could see feelings of increased heart rate with both, difficulty concentrating, going into that flight, fight, or freeze mode. But the main difference is that stress is the feeling we get because something is putting pressure or a demand on us. It's typically short term, and when that stressor is gone, we typically will feel better. The same can't be said for anxiety, though. Anxiety can be present without an actual stressor being identified.
Thank you. For our listening audience, someone might hear the terms co-regulation or self-regulation when it comes to managing mental health. What do these terms mean, and how can we self-regulate, or what roles do parents have in helping their children regulate their responses to stress and anxiety?
So in general, regulation means that a person can display appropriate behaviors. That means, their energy level, their emotions, and so forth based on the situation that they're in. It doesn't mean necessarily that they don't feel a different way inside. It's about what they're able to display. Co-regulation then is when two or more people work together to achieve these things, such as remaining calm in a difficult situation. An example would be physically or verbally prompting a child that you observe is becoming increasingly agitated. Self-regulation is when you as one person can do this. So then if we take that same example, the child that's becoming increasingly agitated doesn't need an adult to prompt them. They're then able to prompt themselves in a way.
That's wonderful.
Probably one of the most important things that our families can do to help our students develop those self-regulation skills that Dr. Neidl talked about is really to model it for them at home. And we know that challenges happen to everybody. We all go through them, children and adults alike. So if we have those experiences as adults, say we're upset or frustrated or angry, we can turn that into a learning opportunity for the child. So for example, and this doesn't mean that you have to always stay calm and be perfect in every situation, but say it's after work and you go to the grocery store and you just need to run in really quick to get one thing you need for dinner, and you get there and they don't have it, and your whole plan has now gone out the window. You might get upset and express your frustration in front of the child. That's okay. But if we then turn around and talk about how we feel, so say, I'm feeling frustrated because this happened, and here's why, and here's maybe a better way to handle it. I really like the idea of the power of yet in those situations in particular. That way the child can learn it's okay to have these feelings. We give them a name for the feelings and a way to learn how to deal with it or cope with it.
Thank you so much. The goal we have for our students is that they can reach a point of self-regulation. However, as they grow and change, it is our job to help them reach this goal. Again, you are the model of success.
Dr. Neidl, in an earlier show, we discussed resiliency. Being resilient connects deeply with one's mental health.
It's important to build resiliency as we respond to life's stressors. Last month we discussed testing and how testing can be a stressor. How can families support their children's mental health before, during, and after these assessments?
It really comes down to helping children understand that regardless of the scores they receive on a test, they are loved, cared for, understood, feeling supported. Without those basic human needs being met, nothing else is really going to matter, even if they're an expert on the topic that they're being tested on. Helping a child with study strategies can also help boost their confidence, helping them with relaxation practices, test-taking skills, other tools that we can use to help strengthen those abilities. But again, in times like these where testing is such a big topic, the anxiety levels are also rising, and we know that anxiety is such a big issue. So kind of keeping all of this in mind and leading it back to no matter what, you're still loved, cared for, and supported.
Now, if parents and families are noticing that their child or their children are having a challenging time when it comes to dealing with these stresses, what resources does St. Lucie Public Schools provide?
So every school has a school-based mental health team on site. It includes school counselors, school-based mental health counselor, school social worker, and school psychologist at a minimum. Every school will then offer individual and group counseling services to students that are brief and solution focused, because we don't provide therapy, we just provide short-term counseling. If a child needs services past what we provide at the school, we have a partnership with many community agencies that offer mental health services to our students through what's called our Mental Health Collaborative Referral Program. That requires a consent form to be signed by a parent, as does our counseling that occurs on school campuses.
It takes a team effort to work through life's challenges. I love that each school provides the support to students, whether it's a school counselor, social worker, teacher, favorite lunch lady. Everyone is there as part of the team, and not just in school. If you or someone else you know is having a tough time dealing with life's challenges, you may contact the 211 hotline. Someone will pick up the call and walk you through what you're going through and navigate that challenging path. Now, are there any things that I might have missed what we talked about in today's show?
No, I think you covered it.
The 211 website, which you mentioned, they actually, if you go to 211treasurecoast.org, provides a wealth of information for the community, and it's even broken down into specific categories based on your specific need.
So in hearing all of the things that you all mentioned, it kind of reminds me of #GoTeam. Speaking of hashtags, social media plays such a huge part in the lives of everyone right now. Dr. Gillard, what are some strategies or ways that our families can help our children navigate through these tough times?
Really, the best thing for our families to do is be aware of what their children are accessing online. And that's going to look different in every household. You know, we know that it's probably not practical to say that we're not going to access the internet at all. Right. You know, children are going to access the internet. So if we just know what they're seeing and what they're doing, we have a better ability to help kind of moderate that. So it might look like, you know, the computer or the device is in one location in the house, or maybe it looks like sitting down with the child and looking at whatever websites they're accessing together. And that really does create an opportunity for the adult to then talk through whatever it is the child's accessing.
Mm-hmm. We want to take a moment to highlight a few schools that are focusing on mental health throughout the month of May. Alabama Flats is having different activities each week in the month of May, like they're wearing green, like Dejan and I are wearing today. Yeah. They also are having different bulletin boards decorated. They have a Keep Swimming, lots of photo fun, Hakuna Matata, so many great activities planned for the whole month of May. And in addition to that, St. Lucie K-8 is also wearing green to support mental health awareness.
We have Bayshore Elementary that has an emoji-themed week to promote positive emotion regulation skills for Mental Health Awareness Month. And at Pride, they will be doing activities where the students and the staff get together throughout the month of May, and the students and staff have opportunities to create self-care plans. Oh my gosh, self-care is so important. Enjoy snacks, door decorating, and coloring contests, which will be judged. And the winner receives a pizza party. On May 15th, they're celebrating Gratitude Day, where everyone will have the opportunity to discuss what they are thankful for by showcasing it in the office. And then on May 29th, self-care for staff will be highlighted, and the staff members will have an opportunity to receive chair massages, affirmations, and light snacks.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of snacks. I like that.
Yes, yes. And as we mentioned, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We wanted to share some resources from Mental Health America. They have a daily challenge. Each day of the week, they suggest an activity like practicing positive affirmations and making a list of things that you are thankful for.
Another great strategy we wanted to share is to get outside. Feeling the sunshine on your face and the grass between your toes will always encourage your mood.
The world is constantly changing, for better or for worse, and it can be overwhelming to deal with everything going on around you. While society is getting more comfortable discussing mental health, it still can be hard to know where to start. When it comes to taking care of your own well-being, think about the tips and the tools. Today's show focuses on resources to help students and their families navigate challenging situations and times.
We want our families to act, ask, communicate, and tell to build the strong coping toolbox so that you can manage stress, navigate difficult situations, and manage challenging situations. Families, we have touched on so many resources for students and their families to build that toolbox. Our aim is to be the guide on the side for the many resources found in our community.
Me and Rebecca, once again, we've done it. We've had a great show.
Yes, we have.
We want to say a special thank you to the doctors, our resident experts in the building, Drs. Gillard, Dr. Neidel. If you have missed, families, any of our shows, we want you to please tune in to WLX Horizon to watch it, catch up, and feel connected. Check out St. Lucie Public Schools' social media outlets for our next show. Next month, we are dedicating our show to wrapping up for the school year. We will prepare families and community members for the summer. We will bring you those summer resources that can be found in our very own backyards in St. Lucie County.
Remember, all families matter in St. Lucie Public Schools.